Hello, so it is Tuesday and it is release day for the new Carley Fortune. And me and one of my best friends are reading it like bi-coastally together. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to like document my thoughts here so she can go back and watch them later. So me and my friend Steph are reading the new Carley Fortune together. I have a lot of luck with this author. Also, if you hear a dog moaning in the background, this house isn't haunted by pugs. She just really wants her dinner and it's not her dinner time, contrary to how desperate she's acting. So I've had so much luck with this author. I read the Every Summer After on a whim and I said it was kind of like The Summer I Turned Pretty, but for adults, like for grown-ups. And then she released last year Emma. And then she released last year Meet Me at the Lake, and it just like coincided.
Come here.
Oh my God. Can you feed her? Okay, I'm gonna try to keep going. I read this 1st of July weekend, Meet Me at the Lake, and was visiting the same friend, Steph, in Toronto. And it all just kind of came together for me to like enjoy it perfectly. And now, this is book 3, but both of her first books I've given 5 stars to. But I also wanted to vlog another book I've been very excited about, which is 5 Broken Blades. This is supposed to be like 6 of Crows, but for adults. And I love so deeply 6 of Crows, so I am excited, but I'm trying to mitigate my expectations a little bit. And this one will be fun. I was in PEI last summer seeing Mumford & Son, so I'm very excited. I have set aside my time. I worked, went for a run. I did all the adult things I'm supposed to do, went to the grocery store. So for the rest of the night, I can just read. I'm very excited to do so. So I'm gonna get to that shortly. Hello, it's the next morning and I took a personal day at work. Wanted to stay home, enjoy the sun. It's gonna rain for like the next week straight, but strangely enough, it has turned to a bit of an extended vacation, more or less, where COVID has unfortunately hit my office. So I'll be working from home probably for the next 7 days. Depends on what the owner decides to do. But I finally started. This summer will be different last night before I promptly passed out. So I have booked a personal day for today. So I'm going to spend majority of the day reading and soaking in the sunshine from my deck as much as I possibly can before the rain sets in. So I just watched the season finale of Vanderpump and I have a lot of thoughts. Most of them, I feel like if you're a decent human being, I feel like most of the audience has the same thoughts about this. So that being said, with reality TV out of the way, I'm going to keep reading. This summer will be different. And already, I just read the prologue and I want to go to PEI again. I tend to go most summers. It's just been a running theme since I got back on the East Coast, but it's making me more excited to go. Okay, reading. Okay, my hair's a little messy because I just let it down, but I forgot to check in again and I have 60 pages left. I'm on chapter 31, 263 pages in, and this book is 330 pages. So I just thought I would drop some sort of update because I forgot. And now we have to take the dog for a walk, but I'm really enjoying it. I will say it's almost like an ode to the Maritimes. Like my alma mater got mentioned, which was fun, and like little places like Fredericton, Halifax, where I currently live, like all of that was really fun to read in a book. So I think what I am enjoying about it is mostly that we've kind of gotten to the point where like it's all about to unravel for our characters. So I don't have any real thoughts beyond that. This book is incredibly short, so I'm not even super like invested in all the characters and plots. Like I'm most invested between the friendship of Bridget and Lucy and not even like really the romance, which I do think this is a bit of a romance novel. It's a contemporary fiction, but it reads more romance and it feels heavier on the romance than her other books. So we'll see how it ends. I am really enjoying it still, and it was a really sunny, nice day outside, so it was the perfect day to read it, but I'm just a little bit surprised that this was the predecessor of, like, Carley Fortune. It's very interesting. But I will finish it up once we get back from a walk. We're gonna put on some sweaters and take the little bug out. And then I will finish the book and kind of give my thoughts and then start 5 Broken Blades after that. Okay, I just finished This Summer Will Be Different by Carley Fortune, and I did like it. I think I'm gonna rate this, I've rated all of hers a 5-star. I think this one's gonna fall into a 4 for a few of the reasons that I said earlier, which is like it's a little bit too short, therefore you don't get enough character building that warrants that kind of emotional tug in the relationship. But the friendship is really well built. I feel like that is kind of the backbone of this story and leads to a lot of the tumultuous nature of what's going on. That's Emma kind of just licking her chops. But I did really enjoy it still, and I had a really good time. Carley Fortune's coming to my town in 2 weeks, so I'm going to get that edition signed and get a copy signed for my friend that I'm buddy reading it with. She hasn't finished it yet. She read about half yesterday, and she has to work today, but I think she said she has tomorrow off, so she's going to finish it. And then we'll discuss, but I did really like it. I like this trend that's happening in books where it's not about the happily ever after necessarily, and it's more about realistic endings, which I think is a little bit more romantic rather than just like quit your job and move for a man. I feel like in contemporary romance there's this new wave taking over. The last Abby Jimenez, Carley Fortune, and the last 2 Emily Henrys I've read were very much like, let me make sure I'm getting my life together, make sure I'm taking care of me, and if romance happens or love happens, then that's also great. And I think that is what calls to me in romance versus like leaving your whole life for a guy is like gives me the personal ick and will turn me off a story. But that being said, I'm gonna wait for my friend to catch up. Hello to Steph. And I'm going to start 5 Broken Blades, which is going to be a bit of a whiplash. It's like a very gruesome sort of fantasy, but it's supposed to like hearken to 6 of Crows in some way, shape, or form. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to take a little break, watch some videos, because like I said, I did watch the Vanderpump. I'm calling it the series finale because I just hope it doesn't come back. And I've loved that show. I've been watching that show since I was a young adult, but kind of hope it was the series finale. I think it was a good ending, but I'm gonna now sleuth around and see what people are saying about it because I'm interested. Good morning. It is Thursday morning and I have started 5 Broken Blades and I've read about 40 pages. And we've just gotten to the portion basically where they haven't all met yet, but they're all individually starting to unravel the plot of them being called together to assassinate the king. And so far, it's not quite as brutal as I feel like the warnings at the front of the book suggested, but that might be to come. That's little Wimmy licking her lips. But that being said, I'm going to keep going. I think I'm going to take a little bath. I tested positive for COVID this morning, but symptomless. So I have been asked not to return to work until Monday. So I got a lot of my emails and stuff done this morning and got the crew where they need to. And my admin moving along for the day. So I don't really have much to do besides read. But so far, I'm liking it. It's interesting. It's moving quickly. The world is pretty digestible. Not much to say beyond that until the plot gets moving along. But you can already tell it's a pretty brutal world. I think it's based on Korea is what the author said. So it'll be interesting. I'm a little intrigued. Hello, so it is Friday morning. I did get a little under the weather yesterday, but I'm here and I'm reporting 200 pages into 5 Broken Blades, and I do have thoughts. So I will say first off the hop, I'm struggling a little bit to understand the Six of Crows comparison. Like on the most basic of levels, sure, as in like it's a darker world and we are following a set of like 5 liars slash thieves or specialty killers. Like it varies, but like tonally, in terms of like story arcs, in terms of relationships, like nowhere to be seen, nowhere near the same thing. Beautiful, I'm enjoying it. Beautiful sprayed edges, enjoying it so far. It's coming in at like a 3.5. Like it's fine. I would say it's so much more like a direct apples comparison. I would say I would recommend Lies of Locke Lamora. It's like a similar arc, a similar tone. There's that kind of banter between all of the cast, whereas here we're 200 pages in and the storylines are just converging. So we're following a poisoner from one of the 5 counts that would like to kill the king. We are following the king's thought to be dead brother and his lover as they try to kill the king. We're following this duo that we're not quite sure what's going on there, and why she has this big diamond, a somewhat mysterious past, but a very like joyful demeanor, and has hired this muscle man basically to try to kill the king. And finally, the poisoner and the count's son and the king's brother and his lover have converged and they have finally met. It's an interesting world. It's very, very easy to grasp. There's nothing overly complicated in this. I feel like it's a very, it's just very easy. And for not having a lot of brain cells right now and struggling a little bit, like my head's just foggy, I'm very tired, like I just keep napping throughout the day, it's like an easy go-to book. I plan on finishing it today because I read 200 pages really without trying yesterday, and I'll give my final thoughts and wrap this up. But for now, I don't think, and this is coming from a lover of Six of Crows, I don't feel if you loved that and this is the recommendation you're getting, which is what I got, I don't think you're going to walk away happy. But I kind of scrapped that idea maybe like 25% of the way through because I'm about halfway through now and I'm enjoying it a lot more. Like letting that idea go is going to benefit you, and just enjoy the ride because I am now and I'm really enjoying it. So I have Emma here. Ian's popped to a doctor's appointment. He's continued to test negative, so that's great. I have Alfie next to me, and I'm just going to read until he gets back. I just got up from a nap and saw him off, and now I'm just going to read, enjoy like my cozy, quiet time on the couch, and I will check in with you guys when I've finished. Hopefully this evening. It might be tomorrow morning if I'm too tired, because I truly passed out the second I hit the bed last night. So we will see. Okay, I have somewhat sad news that with 160 pages left, I think it was a little bit less, like 150 something, I'm DNFing this. There's a weird, like just past the halfway point where everyone starts getting horny and they all start talking, just the most bizarre observations. The observations men have with the women is beyond me. And ultimately, I think how this is marketed is doing itself a disservice. Because, like, I don't even want it on my shelf. I'm going to return it. It's definitely not like Six of Crows. Absolutely not. I feel like at the 200-page mark, once the author has set up the world she wants and has laid out the plot so nobody's confused going forward. That's it. Then it is no rules. We've hit cowboy country and everybody's just got boners. Everybody is horny. It's the most bizarre turn of events I've read in a book. I was getting whiplash. I don't even understand tonally how it changed so quickly. But I wouldn't even really qualify it as a romance fantasy. It's just in this weird, it's in its own little world, its own little nebulous, and didn't really pick a lane to go down because I think whichever lane it picked, it probably would have succeeded in. But also, that's him playing. Also, just the way the men talk about the women is just absurd to me. I don't know. It just truly wasn't the book for me. So, ending kind of on a low, but really enjoyed This Summer Will Be Different by Carley Fortune. I can't wait to get my copy signed. She's coming to Halifax on the 23rd, and this one's going back to the bookstore. Wouldn't even recommend it. Don't think it's worth your time. Incredibly disappointed. Yeah, it was very bizarre, but that's it for me. I'm gonna go wash my hands or something. This is weird one. Wouldn't pick it up, but I know it's the author's first book, so I don't want to be like too awful about it. Maybe they'll kind of pick a lane in the future of what they would write, because I think they show promise for a fantasy writer. I think she should lean into that when she continues the series, because this is going to be a trilogy, I believe. So if I could give her any kind of like helpful feedback as a reader, is like lean into the fantasy. The romance was bizarre. Maybe if you're a dark romance reader, you might like it. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have to figure out how to piece this review together, because I feel like I'm not communicating well, but it just did not work for me. So that's it for the video. It's the start of a weekend, so I'll probably start something else, some other concept in my head, maybe do a themed vlog. That would be fun while I have COVID. And just cut my losses. Goodbye.